All right, y'all. It's your boy Zxous, and your boy has to put y'all on game because we did just end up getting a I guess reset for the overclock simulation room. I am going to just walk you guys step by step of like what to do and what teams to use and all that stuff, and you guys can just copy and get some free rewards real quick. This is very important for the anniversary, so follow my rules, right? I don't actually know what the new rules are, but it's probably the same thing where yeah, you can have two like ARs. Oh, okay, we actually have something a bit different. Let's take a look. So I'm gonna go through all of them, and then I'm going to make the final decision of what roles to go for and why. All right, y'all. So this is what we got going on here, right? Let me see if I can actually zoom in for y'all. Okay, I guess I can, in, like to an extent, right? Okay, this is better, right? So we're gonna go with the level 2 attack because you don't want the enemies to be able to do too much damage to you, right? Then I want to go with the level 3 defense up by 50% and the level 3 HP up by 30%. Just because, again, we are at a point where, especially if you have the new tactical upgrades Vesti, which I guess technically you can't use. You can't use this time, so let me not say that, but we're in a point in Nikke where like defense and HP really just get shredded if you have certain characters. But this one is a bit harder because there's one thing that they don't allow, which is rocket launcher characters, right? We want this, the status bonus obtained through recycling rooms are disabled. Now you don't need to have this one. If you guys want to replace this one with any other level 2 thing that you find to be better, like for example this right here is probably better as well, we can actually take that. And then yeah, let's do it like this. Actually, let's keep our stats. We want the duration of destroy to be reduced by 30%. I always found that useless. This one is quite crazy, right? It says you cannot add burst 3 Nikkes who have a rocket launcher onto your squad. Not only that, you are forced to bring 2 AR characters if you go for the +4 of the all-rounder, right? We want this one right here where it decreases the attack increase gained from Nikkes skills by 25%, which I don't feel like it's too bad, especially if you have your recycling room stats. Realistically, we want obviously enemies to remain iron code because then you can use electric characters, which is again is just silly because they just banned rocket launchers, right? And then this is what I decided to go with the jellyfish. I don't feel like this jellyfish is too bad since all this jellyfish does is reduce your reload speed. Other than that, you're pretty good to go, right? So copy that right there. Now as for the team, right, one thing I want to remember to let you guys know is that you guys basically want to get to the final boss. The final boss is actually the easiest out of all these stages because you're fighting one solo enemy. So anytime you see where it says commander ability test, always pick that over anything else. But if you never get that, make sure you always pick normal. Never ever pick the hard stages. Always pick either commander ability test if you see that there, or the normal stage. Now, as for my team here, right, this is gonna be something because it has to be 2 ARs and rocket launchers are not allowed, which isn't too bad because again, ARs are, you know, they're here, whatever. Realistically, you could just go Scarlet and Trina, right? Scarlet and Jill and Trina, right? I think that's something you definitely could do, right? Because then you have things, but I'm not gonna put Trina. Oh, you can't use. Oh no, you can use Crown still. Okay, Crown, Little Mermaid, and Helm. That's it. Just have Jill, Scarlet, right? Since they're iron characters, and then your monstrous trio, and you're good to go. And if you don't want to use them, literally monstrous trio with any 2 other ARs, right? It could be Scarlet and Asuka or Ray, and for all I care, have freaking Eve on that team, right? I'm gonna go Scarlet and Jill, and then obviously I'm gonna have Helm on that team. And we should be good with that composition right there. Helm is really good. And Monstrous Trio is insane, right? So, and I know people don't like that I keep using Monstrous Trio, but it's to a point where I just find comments like that silly. Like, why do you always use Monstrous Trio composition? Well, it's because it's the most meta team. Like, if you have this, then by all means use it. It's the easiest to get by, especially if you're underpowered. Now, if you don't have monstrous trios, what are the alternatives? That's where I would say probably things like Mast and Anchor, really good alternatives, right? I don't think you needed like the monstrous trio team. I think if you run your regular supports with just 2 AR DPSs, you're fine. So Mast and Anchor, even you could run Aid and Milk if you have the 2, like the new Aid and Milk. You could probably do Emma and Yunwa as well. And then probably have like a cooldown reduction character as well on the team. right? But remember, you just want to keep commanding ability test is what you really want, because that's going to let you go basically to the boss. And again, the boss is the easiest fight out of all these bosses, right? I am gonna come out with like different team comps and stuff like that, just in case you don't have this team. So I guess like either skip to the end of the video or stay tuned to the end of the video to see like other alternatives and stuff like that. And I'll probably do like a few runs with different teams, right? Rather than me always just like, you know, it's rather than me always just doing the one run, I might as well just use a boatload of different teams so you guys see. But like, again, I don't think this is going to be hard whatsoever, especially with like Monstrous Trio. It's realistically the absolute easiest. It's the absolute easiest solution. And I don't like when people sit there and say, stop using Monstrous. You guys, we summon for these meta characters and now you're saying we can't use them because they're being used too much. In what world does that make sense? You know, I personally find it beyond silly, but hey, everybody's different, right? And then we're at the final boss. And again, like I said, final boss, absolutely the easiest stage out of everything in Overclock Mood Simulation. You know why it's so easy? Because you're fighting one singular enemy. You're not fighting mobs off of mobs on mobs on mobs. You're fighting one singular enemy. And normally, this boss would be deleted. Like, you could even freaking have, Rappy on this team. She's not a rocket launcher. Rappy's a machine gun character, but you could still put her on the team. Right, you just need to have 2 ARs on the team. It doesn't mean you need to use their burst skill. You could easily replace Helm, put Rappy on there, replace whoever. Like, I'm gonna show you guys, bro. I'm gonna show you guys. Go ahead, Jill Valentine, do your thing, do your thing. I'm only running Jill Valentine and Scarlet because they're type advantage. Remember, the characters. Oh, Electric isn't. Oh, I'm so stupid. Electric isn't beating Iron, is it? Oh, I'm so stupid. Electric doesn't beat Iron. Huh. I'm so stupid. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's crazy. Electric doesn't beat Iron, does it? It's Wind that beats Iron, right? Let's go back in here with the save team. I just want to confirm that. It's right? What beats what? What beats what? Electric doesn't. So they did not need to be here, right? But I'm gonna run a different team completely where what beats a Wind, right? And we're gonna have 2 ARs and stuff like that as well. Like, I'm gonna show you guys the real team. Like, this right here is another one. Realistically, this is actually a pretty good team. You have Mana there, Ray if you don't have Ray, right? Or you can even use Sakura. I'm gonna use, like, they're both limited, so it doesn't really matter, right? But let's go with them. And then after that, your team can be literally anything, right? Fastest point. So let's say I want Red Hood, right? Red Hood burst 1, Rappy. Okay, let's use Rappy burst 1, Red Hood burst 1. And then we need a burst 2 character, which for all like this team, I'll put Mari on this team, right? I'll put Mari on this team just to show you guys. Or actually, I could put Grave because Red Hood is on the team, right? So we have burst 1 or Red Hood. Y'all see, right? Red Hood and Rappy are type advantage. Burst 1 Red Hood, burst 1 Rappy on this team. Burst 2 obviously being Grave, and then our burst 3 DPS is being our characters here. Right? When the characters are type advantage. I think I just said Red Hood is type advantage. She's not. Right? But boom. We stay on Red Hood. You get your burst skill. Red Hood does what she wants. This team is not even a proper team. Look at this team. The only thing about this team is that you could get from burst 1, 2, and 3 and have burst generation. And I guess you have cooldown reduction as well because Rappy is a burst 1. Right? Other than that, this team is just, it's nothing. Right? You have AoEs from your Ray. You have, obviously, Mana doing what Mana does. You have the heals, revive from Mana as well. Mana's a really good option, especially if you want a reviving character, right? But there's really no excuse when it comes to Overclock, right? I don't even think power matters too much. Like, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter at all, because you can't be like 100,000 and expect to be 900,000, right? That's why I say use and take advantage of the commander ability test, because when you get to that final boss, then it could matter. Like, you could actually be like 300k power if, let's say, you get commander ability test the entire way, right? And you could constantly reset your simulation room until you get something like that if you really want to, if you need it, right? But you can get commander ability test the entire way, and then the final boss is just one simple boss that gets nuked by your hardest hitting DPSs, which is usually the meta characters, right? I mean, I hope it is at least. Right? I hope it is. And then boom, Ray deletes them. You have Mana still giving us everybody to heal. Grave does damage. Rappy does damage. Red Hood does damage. Ray does damage. Mana, to an extent, does damage. Brother, There's no excuse. Now we're fighting, okay, this right here is a bit annoying just because it's like, okay, we're fighting the, like, this boss right here that does this weird, the boss is not doing anything to us. It's not. Right? It's just summoning these enemies that stop from using our burst skill, but you guys see the boss is dead, right? You guys could copy me. The whole point of this is to copy me. Commander ability test is what you want. If not normal stages, just copy me, right? I'll do one more team as well for this video, right? I'll click none as well. I don't need that. Commander ability test, we could pick none. I really don't care. And then we can go ahead and enhance all buffs to SSR and then fight the final boss, which again, we're only 267,000 power below, which, you know, it is what it is, but boom. And then we're gonna go ahead and fight this boss again. I'm gonna try to make my next run have like as low power as possible, just to show you guys it is quite doable. But boom, right there you go. We have our burst skill off. Oh, please go for this enemy right here. Please go for this enemy. Please, please, please go for that enemy. We do not want the enemy that prevents us from getting our burst skill off. That's the enemy you don't want to deal with. And there's Mana doing what Mana does, typing it up, hacking, whatever. And then I think it's on the boss. Yeah, it's on the boss. And then the boss is realistically just deleted. Even if these, yeah, done. Right? It's so simple. 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 Right? Take advantage of the enemy stay iron class. Take advantage of that with your win characters. Obviously, Scarlet Black Shadow's a rocket launcher, so you can't do much about it, right? But you could use Asuka. You could technically, if Asuka, she's machine gun, why couldn't you use Asuka, right? But you need 2 ARs as well. So I'm gonna make another team. Realistically, I'm gonna make another team, just not as good in my opinion, right? So we're gonna go full AR. Let's go Privity. She's free to play. Let's go Snow White and Privity. Both of these two are free to play characters, right? So that covers that right there. We have our 2 burst 3 characters here. I think I'm gonna go Blanc, Noir, right? And then our burst 1 character, which realistically I would put Little Mermaid. But let's go later because she's free to play as well, right? This is more of like a free to play ass team, right? Let me gear them up though. Now I would put Red Hood on this team because I feel like we're gonna need Red Hood just for like burst generation. Either her or Little Mermaid for burst generation. Probably Little Mermaid because she has cooldown reduction as well. So I'm gonna put Little Mermaid instead of Lit Her. But I mean, just to show that you can use without them. This team right here should not be able to do the job. Genuinely, if this team right here is able to get the job done, then we have to start questioning Nikke's whole system. I don't think this team should get the job done, but if it does, then it does. Right? Burst generation is absolutely atrocious with this team. Look at that. It's horrendous. Right? It's absolutely atrocious. Right? But once you get your burst skill off, then it's going to be proper because obviously, boom, this is damage taken to all enemies. And then both of these characters have AoEs basically, right? Privity and thing. The only thing I would actually do is probably just switch to burst 1 with somebody with some type of burst generation, right? Whether it's Little Mermaid after the first burst rotation or even Red Hood. Red Hood would make this a lot easier, right? Yeah, this is just horrendous without Red Hood, right? We're gonna need that Red Hood quickly, right? We're gonna need that Red Hood quickly, right? And then boom, there's Snow White, free to play character, which again she's limited pilgrim, free to play limited pilgrim. But we are going to get the job done regardless, right? That's actually insane. If I actually could beat this with such a sorry team, and you know what's so funny? Most people watching this video are going to have more of a realistic team, right? I would consider this to be a horrendous, non-realistic team. But if I'm able to beat Overclock with this, I don't want to hear nothing about the, like, I just don't want to hear nothing, right? Commander ability tests, we can go ahead and collect some of these buffs, right? Whatever. Go ahead and collect some of these buffs. Fight this right here. Could I change this? I'm just gonna put Red Hood, makes our life easier, right? Red Hood has perfect burst generation. She has perfect burst generation. We don't have cooldown reduction. You're getting one of the two, right? But she has perfect burst generation. And then boom, right? I mean, she doesn't have perfect, but it's better than like what we have with Little Mermaid, right? Boom, bop, bop, boop, and then everybody's stunned for 3 seconds. AoEs, damage taken increased, but the thing is, it doesn't reapply to the new enemies from Blanc, right? Like, it's not like Blanc is reapplying it to new enemies or whatever, right? But burst generation is somewhat better, even if it is a little bit. And we do have a boom, and then obviously we gotta wait for that. and then boom. And then Snow White, we still have Rappy's buff and stuff like that. So Rappy, Red Hood's buff. So hey, shouts to Red Hood. Shouts to Red Hood. Really a character that's like, this is I don't even know. Another character you could technically put, I wouldn't say she has crazy first generation, but another one you could put is Rappy, right? If you want a broken, insane, powerful DPS, you could put Rappy on the team as well, right? I'm just gonna like kind of switch between burst ones, right? Now we have a burst. I'm just gonna switch between burst ones until we get to the final stage. But you could do Rappy, Red Hood. You have many options. You got a lot of oppositions. But okay, what the hell was that? But the first generation is the only problem. But again, this is like down bad teams. Like if you don't have the other two teams or something similar to the first two teams, then that's like a you issue, right? But this like that's really just a skill issue at that point. But this right here is absolutely worst of the worst down bad. Like I'm using 2023 characters. Everybody here's a 2023 character except the new Rappy, right? Even later was a 2022 character, right? So, and again, Rappy, she does damage herself. Yes, she does. But, like, come on now. Come on now. Right? Look at that burst generation. It's atrocious. Oh, Lord. Save me. It's actually comical. But, yeah, and then the enemy is dead here because, you know. Yeah. I don't even know. The fact that we're doing this is crazy. And we're 300k power down. Right? And we're not getting lucky with, like, commander ability test. Let's go Elysian here. Okay, there's commander ability test. Again, we can do that. This, I guess. Okay. I don't think we need healing, so let's try to I don't even know. Let's do this, I guess. Boom. And then here. So we're 655,000 now after all that. Boom. If we beat this, and I didn't change Rappy, I could have put Red Hood in there. But Red Hood is all like, you know, I think we need a 20-second cooldown burst character. So probably Red Hood or Rappy or Litter would be better for this right here, right? I was actually just gonna put Rosanna, and then I don't have to run Blanc and Noir. I just feel like Blanc Noir are still somewhat decent supports, right? Like somewhat decent supports. So like that's the main reason why I use them. But again, don't count Snow White out, y'all. Never count Snow White out because Snow White was the best of the best before all these characters came. Snow White was the best of the best before all these characters came in. Let's keep it a G, right? Okay, we got stunned there. We do got an extra minute. I don't know if we're gonna beat this one, y'all. I don't know. We gotta go for the boss. They're stunning me though. That's the problem. We got our burst skill off. Bop, bop, and boom. Stun them all, please. Privity, and go for the boss. Y'all gotta go for the boss. Y'all are just attacking this fodder enemy. We don't need that with Blanc's healing. Just go for the boss. If we go for the boss, I don't need to focus on the boss. We don't need to focus on that enemy. We have healing. Go for the boss. Oh my god. Projectiles at a time like this. Projectiles at a time like this where Snow White's not using her ability. Noir. Okay, she has AoE. And my Noir is built. She has AoE. Bop. Deleted. Absolutely nobody deleted. Oh my god. This is so crazy. This is actually horrendous. Okay, there's more enemies? How many enemies are there? I don't think we're gonna beat this. I know. There's only so much one character could do, right? Maybe we might have to just use Noir's burst skill. Like, genuinely, we might have to. Because this boss is not going down. And I think the boss is actually getting healed. We have 20 seconds. Like, if Rappy just focuses on the boss, we could get the job done. But Rappy's focusing on everybody but the boss. And I think they're healing him. Okay, let's just call this a dub. Clearly, you can't just use any team. So, just use the other two teams. Your boy Zxous, I'm out. Peace.